So back in 1995, Nintendo released an add-on for the Super Nintendo. This add-on was called the Satellaview. It was never actually released stateside, so you could only experience this in Japan. But the Satellaview actually let you watch, essentially, a digital satellite TV channel. You could watch TV shows in the thing through your Super Nintendo, really. However, much like watching TV shows, you could also play a number of games through this. They were actually stored locally on a game cartridge-like hard drive called the BSX. But playing the game actually required the ability to connect to the satellite. And the game was only offered to be able to play during a specific time. Exactly like watching a TV show. Now, the Satellaview and the BSX system were kind of interesting in that it even gave you a hub world that you could walk around in, and you could choose between a male or female character in the Satellaview and the BSX thing. But then this is where you would access all of the various games that you would want to play or that were offered at the time. You would have to go in here, and during the time the game was available, you could play it. Now, one of the larger undertakings of this was something called The Legend of Zelda: Ancient Stone Tablets. This was effectively a Nintendo-made ROM hack of Link to the Past. But it completely uprooted how you played the game. It is not even remotely has the same flow or anything that a Link to the Past had. It was also only offered to be able to play for a 1-hour period of time. It was streamed to you, effectively. And so during this 1 hour, all the little boys and girls would boot up their system and go to play the game. And since this information was being streamed directly to them, and they knew it was happening during a set amount of time, they took advantage of that, and even had things like live voice acting that was broadcast to the people as they were playing the game. Now, since this was only offered for a 1-hour period of time, and was only offered directly through the satellite uplink, pretty much all of the games that were offered through the Satellaview are gone, lost to the aether. However, there has been a special effort to get back The Legend of Zelda: Ancient Stone Tablets. This game is non-canon as far as The Legend of Zelda is concerned, and is divided up into 4 chapters, as this wasn't only broadcast during this 1 hour, but over a period of 4 weeks. You had 4 episodes shown. So without further ado, welcome to Let's Play BS: The Legend of Zelda: Ancient Stone Tablets. Now, since this game was offered through the Satellaview, and it was actually played live, everyone started at the same time, you would go from the hub world into a very special little building where it would start the show, so to say. You would get an interesting little screen with an interesting little character, and then, normally, this was a black screen with voice acting over top of it. Live voice acting. Now, for the sake of the ROM that I'm playing, currently the only way that there is to play this game, the live voice acting has been written down into text that's displayed on screen, and some images have been tossed together. But in the original version, this was simply a black screen. And then this led directly into the game. There was no title screen, even. Just like watching a TV show, it just started right up. So what I'm going to be doing is whenever this voice acting appears, specifically it's the beginning and end of the various episodes, I'm going to be playing the original Japanese voice acting. There is no English voice acting, of course. And I'll let you enjoy the scene.
6年前、勇者リンクが魔王ガノンを倒してから、このハイラルの地には平穏な日々が流れていた。しかし、ある日の夜。
この頃毎晩同じ夢を見るわ。大きな神殿のようなところに黒い影。なぜか見覚えがある。まさかあれは悪いことが起こらなければいいんですが。
毎晩同じ悪夢を見る王女ゼルダは新たなる危機を感じていた。そんなある日、
東の方に光が。何でしょうか。
ゼルダは怪しげな光へと向かった。
おお、なんじゃなんじゃ。何かが落ちたような。ほう、なんじゃこいつは。
そこには奇妙な若者が横たわっていた。
ゼルダ姫ではありませぬか。
この辺りに向かう光の帯が見えましたので、何か起こりませんでしたか。
実はここに見たこともない服を着た若者が。
大丈夫ですか。
姫、こいつは村の者ではありませんぞ。
そんなことを言っている場合ではありません。アジナ、急がなきゃ。怪我をしているかもしれません。さあ、早く手を貸してください。
若者を連れてアジナとゼルダは近くの祠へと急いだ。
不思議なことに怪我もないようなので、このまま眠らせておきましょう。そういえば久しぶりですね、アジナ。お元気そうですね。
ゼルダ姫も相変わらずお綺麗で。
そういえば最近長老のサハスラーラを見かけませんが。
兄者は何でもハイラルに危機が迫っていると言って勇者リンクを探しに旅に出てしまいました。
勇者リンク。
勇者リンク、このハイラルで勇敢にもたった一人で魔王ガノンを倒した伝説的ヒーローである。彼は新たなる冒険を求めてハイラルを後にしていた。
そうですか。私も最近悪い夢ばかり見るようになりました。やはり危機が迫っているのでしょう。
姫、ここも危険かもしれません。ハイラル城にお戻りください。
そうですね、わかりました。でもアジナ、 この光の中から現れた方には不思議な力があるように思えます。この方に勇気があるのなら光の勇者になれるのでは。
まさかそんなことが。
そう言い残し、王女ゼルダはアジナの祠を後にした。
大変です。
お前は東の神殿にいた兵士ではないか。どうしたのだ。おお、怪我をしているではないか。大丈夫か。
突然たくさんの魔物が現れまして、警備の兵士は全滅です。まだこの辺りは現れてないようですが。
おい、しっかりしろ。まさか姫の予言が的中してしまったのか。魔物が復活してしまうとは。姫は随分前にお立ちになったのでご無事にハイラル城にお着きであろう。しかしこのままではハイラルはどうなってしまうのじゃ。今はこの若者にすがるしかない。
伝説の国ハイラルにまた新しい危機が。若者はハイラルを救うことができるか。
And from there, normally, you'd merely be dumped straight into the game. However, not so in the ROM. You see, normally when you set up the Satellaview, you actually got to choose your gender and you wandered around as a male or female. And effectively, what this game is your avatar from the Satellaview in the BSX getting dropped into this game. You play as your avatar from the world map of that game. Now, since there is no BSX and there is no Satellaview, they have programmed into the ROM a way for you to simply choose. And really, if anybody knows me, and this here is where the game began. You'll notice there's a timer up in the corner. It says 1806. That is what time this was originally broadcast. The Eastern Palace, eh? Oh man, I got a giant bag. Hooray! 1806 is actually when the game was initially broadcast, what time it was, and events will happen throughout the game depending on that time. Day 1 ends at 1856, I think. But you see, we were there in Sahasrah's hut. That was not actually Sahasrah, though. That was Sahasrah's brother, I do believe, who you saw back in Kakariko Village. Now, we need to make our way up to the Eastern Temple. However, we don't have a weapon, but we do have a pot with a golden bee in it. And this golden bee will follow you around. He will even follow you between screens and will fight enemies for you and give you a way to defend yourself until you get a sword. Now, you will notice that this game is very, very easy. And the reason for that is simply because you're on a time limit. You've got 1 hour. They couldn't put something in that you could potentially die to several times or had to think very hard to get around because they couldn't expect that of you within that time limit. Man, that bee is wrecking face. And I got the key on the left side, so I can go over here and open this. And then in here, I'm going to catch the bee again. Because in this chest is my sword. Ha, yeah, eat it. And some bombs. Another couple things. The game engine has been changed slightly since Link to the Past. A few changes of note have happened. On top of things specific for this game, such as the fact that I can hold a lot more than, like, 999 rupees. But bombable walls, for one, do not immediately show up. However, if you look at the map, they do show you where all of the secret rooms are, and there are a lot of secret rooms. But you are going to have to actually look at the map to figure out where they are. They generally don't put anything in that's too hidden and, like, impossible to find. You'll also note that there is a score down there at the bottom. And that's just score for how many enemies you kill, how many rupees you collect, how many times you die is actually deducted from your score. And that's all tallied up at the end of the episode, so to say, and you can go from there. Secret room here, a lot of money. Now, I think, where am I supposed to go? I'm supposed to go to the right, or to the left, and then left again. I actually find with the more basic square room layouts and the how many rooms you have to bomb in order to get through, I think the dungeon layout in this game actually reminds me more of Newtopia. Hey, got my shield! I like that they gave me a sword, and then they've, like, until this room, they've given me almost nothing to fight. In fact, even if you know what you're doing, it's still very difficult to beat all of the content that they put in this game within the hour time limit. I missed something down there, didn't I? Yes, I did. I'm going to make an attempt in this playthrough to show off everything that there is to show off in this game. That means not only all of the secret rooms, but all of the special timed events. Sometimes there are a lot of smaller events that happen from time to time, but there are also a fair number of larger events that are kind of neat. Such as, at one point, you have to save Princess Zelda. Now, of course, whether or not you save her is actually inconsequential to the overarching story. She doesn't die or anything, it's just kind of a funky little event. But you get points for it, so you want to do it. You show it off, and it's neat and stuff. Okay, now that I've wandered around aimlessly for so long... Pots, still one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Picking up a little bit of magic power, but nothing I especially... Like, I don't need it, really. Ah, the big chest! Surely there will be a reward in this dungeon. Surely there will be a secret room over here, because I actually remember there being a secret room over here. You have zero use for as much money as they give you, but it does all go to score. I think when it's tallied up at the end, every rupee you have is like 10 points or something. Super Swing Magic Power! There are a couple other changes that have happened to the overall engine, but I don't know, I guess I'll address them as I get to them. For one, we were given a number of items just here at the beginning of the game. You can see we have the bug-catching net, a bottle, we have the lantern, we have the ocarina. God dang it. The ocarina, which I selected and used like a dumb butt, actually functions like the magic mirror in that it takes you back to the entrance of the dungeon. So now I just have to run very quickly so I'm not losing time. Because, as I've mentioned, the time constraints are actually sort of tight. God dang it. Especially if you actually want to explore everything. See all of the rooms, do all of the things. But the As I mentioned, the ocarina now actually acts like the magic mirror, and it will teleport you to the entrance of the dungeon when you're inside the dungeon. When you're outside of the dungeon, it will let you use it just like the typical ocarina. You can fly around and do stuff. That'll actually be something that I show off when we get there, though. Was there? No, there wasn't. Okay, I'm not missing any secret rooms yet. Now, I am genuinely curious how they managed to get a hold of anything in order to make the ROM that lets you play this. And because there are 4 days, there are 4 ROMs, it was effectively 4 different games. Yeah, got a bow. You joke! Come here! Just want to stab you a little. So we have the bow and arrow. So that's pretty... I don't have a key. Where do I get a key? What the crap? I've been everywhere! What do I do? I probably gotta kill the other guy. But I killed the other guy. Ah, dang it! Is it under a pot? Oh, well, poogass. I don't have time for this! I don't have time for this! Was it under one of those pots? It was under one of those pots, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And I didn't do the pot thing. I didn't do the pot thing because I warped back to the entrance and I could have sworn I got him before I warped, but I didn't. Once again, that's me being a butt. Okay, I do think I'm still doing alright on time. Okay, before I go up there, is there anything down here? No, there's not. There are a couple hidden rooms coming up. Such as here. There's a hidden room to the right. You, I have to kill with the bow and arrow. He only takes 2 hits with the bow and arrow in this game. It was nerfed slightly. I think he took 3 hits previously. Not positive, but I think it was something like that. Now, you get a number of interesting effects that happen as the timer goes on, of which some of them are things like a fairy will just spontaneously spawn in the middle of the screen. Pegasus boots are just kind of in a chest somewhere. I think a couple times, like, Bombos will just go off and kill everything on screen for you. Why, I got 50 rupees to spare, and now I can carry more bombs. And in the room up above is indeed the boss, and the boss is these guys! And man, they do not fudge around in here. They're just like, normally they give you a bunch of time to like stop and think and crap, but no, not in here. They're just straight up going. But in beating the boss, we've actually gained a stone tablet. Now, what does this stone tablet mean? What's it done for us? What does it do? We don't know yet. Oh, and there it is. At 1818, you get infinite arrows, and you will have them for an amount of time. Okay, now that I'm wandering around, there are a couple things to do. For one, I'm going back to Sahasrula's hut here. This dude's name, though, is, it's like Agina or something. But it's Sahasrula's brother. You could see him in, like, I think you, anyway, you could see him in Kakariko Village, originally. Yeah, I got a piece of heart. Oh, I haven't actually shown off the Pegasus boots yet, but, I suppose that'll have to wait until next time, because I'm on a time limit, yes, but, we got things to do, places to go, and until next time, everyone,